One of the most common and basic questions and important questions that I get from families who have lost a loved one is, how do we know whether the estate needs to go through probate or not? Very good question. And the answer is, you go on the internet, you go to Google and you type in, what is the minimum value that an estate has to be in my state, California, Utah, Pennsylvania, wherever you are, to have to go through probate. And that will give you the answer. There are laws in every state that that establishes a minimum. On April 1st of 2025, the law said that in California, where I am, any estate over $208,850 has to go through probate. Now, the next thing you need to do is, there's a three-part process here. Next thing you need to do is go figure out what the major assets that the decedent had. If they have a house, you write that down, and you probably want to have an approximate value of what the house is. Go to Zillow or Realtor.com or something like that and kind of figure that out. That's a ballpark figure. They're not exactly accurate. And, if they have stocks and bonds, if they have a car, they have things like that, add it up and see if it amounts to more than that minimum amount that you looked up on the internet. And then the next part of it is you need to determine whether or not those assets have to go through probate. Because if there's a trust, then the assets that are in the trust don't have to go through probate. There have been many famous people, like some famous tech entrepreneurs like Steve Jobs, for instance. Part of his estate went through probate because he didn't put his house in the probate. Can you imagine that? Other politicians, there's a very famous politician in California that I got the lead on her house because she didn't do her planning. Can you imagine someone like that didn't do the planning? It just blows me away. But anyway, you have to determine whether those assets are in a trust. And I'll do another video pretty soon about how do you determine that. But anyway, that's how you do it. You find out what the basic value is. You figure out what the assets are, and whether they're probably worth more than that or not. And you figure out whether those assets are in a trust, or if they're joint tenancy on the grant deed, or payable on death, or transfer on death, or something like that. So that's how you do it. If you found this interesting, please click the like button and help other people. And if you want to talk to the real Gene Brown, I'm here. I'm happy to help you. Thanks.